Let's talk about what I find to be the most challenging aspect of beekeeping, and that's swarming. As a brand new beekeeper, maybe in your first year, maybe just got into your second year, getting your bees to live and survive winter is the most important part of beekeeping. It is. We're talking challenge. And I'll backpedal a little bit. For the first year, maybe second year beekeeper, it was a huge challenge to get your bees to survive. And I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to take that credit from you. You worked hard to get to where you're at right now. But I promise you, as time goes on and your beekeeping journey advances, getting your bees to survive and getting them through winter is going to become pretty routine. You're just going to recognize their very basic needs, and you're going to do everything in your power to provide those needs for them. Swarming, on the other hand, is something that's time sensitive. There's no definitive time to when it's going to happen. There's no date. There's no even roundabout. It's something that you have to recognize the signs and the symptoms of it. And when you've recognized the signs and symptoms, they have already made that decision and developed that impulse to swarm long before that. That's what makes this so challenging to me. I've been doing this for 13 years, and I am still challenged by swarming and swarm management. I'm not saying this to discourage you, because it is also one of the most rewarding aspects of beekeeping. When you stop that from happening and you take control of the situation and that new queen comes back mated, 13 years in, I am just as excited to see that new queen or those brand new eggs as I was in year one. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to discourage you at all. I'm just trying to prepare you. And hopefully I can make it a little bit easier for you. Let's talk about why bees swarm in the first place. Bees have a natural impulse to swarm. It's their way of diversifying their genetics and growing their numbers. As beekeepers, we have the same goals as the bees. We want diversified genetics, and we want to increase our numbers and keep really strong, happy bees. It's just that we want it done within our control, within our yards, not in some oak stump a half a mile down the road. You may have heard me refer to swarming as a mode and not a specific event. And I touched on this a little bit. Once bees decide that they're going to swarm, you can't stop them. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is make them think they've swarmed already. Again, another challenging aspect to swarming. Some factors that contribute to the bees wanting to swarm in the first place is things like the overall population when the hive gets very crowded, the queen running out of room to lay, the age of the queen. I'm not going to say that it might sound like I'm talking about supersedure. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with the queen, but older queens have a tendency to take off more than a new queen. So let's get into the meat of it. You have swarm management and swarm control. Let's talk about swarm management first. Swarm management is a very proactive approach to dealing with swarms. It's all methods that take place before the bees even enter into a swarm mode. Things like reversing hive bodies, in very early spring, equalizing your hives. I have videos on both of those, and I will post them at the end in cards at the end of this video. Proactively splitting your hives. You'll hear people that, I'm doing my spring splits. They're basically, before symptoms of swarming even present, the minute their hives get strong enough, there's drones flying, and they have plenty of capped brood and resources to make 2 hives and do a split, they will go ahead and do that. That is a method of swarm management, any good one. Even though I don't do that, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. I can't stress enough. It's a matter of choice. Swarm control is a more reactionary measure to when the bees have already entered into a swarm mode. I'm not going to say that it was a mistake and now you must react to fix this mistake. Because like I mentioned, I purposely let my bees go into a swarm mode and then pull my queen and make a 5-frame nuke out of her. It's just the method that I choose. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just what works for me and what I've been doing all along. I may start some proactive splitting, but for now, I just like the idea of pulling a 5-frame nuke, and I'm in my hives enough where I can do that because I'm in those hives every 7 to 10 days. So I'm going to see the start of queen cells, and most of the time I can get to her before that happens. The next 2 methods of swarm control I'd like to talk about, and we're going to circle back and talk about them again because I don't think they're good methods of swarm control. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but just don't rely on it. And these 2 things are swarm traps and actually retrieving your swarms. You can put swarm traps all out in your bee yard, and with the hopes that if a hive should swarm, they'll choose that to be their home. If that happens, that's great. There's no guarantee it's going to happen. Capturing your swarms, you know, I hear this online all the time. I got bees 30 feet up in a tree. What should I do? And people are like, oh, you could go get a ladder and a pole and try to shake them into that bucket. I mean, that doesn't sound appealing to me. I don't even like cleaning my gutters out, and I live in a ranch. So, I mean, what are you talking, 12, 14 feet? So nothing sounds appealing to me about going and getting a extension ladder, a big pole, a bucket, getting 30 feet up in the air and getting your bees down. Sounds dangerous, sounds laborious, and to me it sounds easier just to keep them in the boxes in the first place. Now, I'm not saying don't utilize those 2 methods, but they are like your last ditch effort or an insurance policy, a very poor insurance policy. You know, I have retrieved my swarms. My rule is kind of like, if I can get to it from a 6-foot step ladder, I'll have at it. There's no guarantee that if you capture that swarm and you get it into a hive, that it's going to stay in the first place. So it may just take off for all you know by the end of the day. Remember, bees are going to do what bees are going to do. I want you to start looking at queens as not only the queen and the most important part of the hive. I want you to start looking at queens as 2 $20 bills for a very basic queen. If a hive swarms and takes off and goes to the trees, you just 2 $20 bills flew away on you and perched up in a tree. Not only did that $40 go up there, half of that labor force also went and set the production of that hive back. Now, even if you're not a commercial beekeeper, a sideliner, or a hobbyist who does it as a business, even if you're just a hobbyist who has two hives in their backyard, you still rely on that honey to either, 1, you consume it, or 2, you can sell it and help offset the cost of beekeeping. Beekeeping is one of the very few hobbies that you can offset the cost and make it pretty much self-sustaining. It is about economics, no matter what level of beekeeping you are at. The idea is to keep your bees alive and keep them in the boxes. I hope this video was very helpful and useful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe, not just for my benefit, but for yours as well. You'll get alerts anytime I put new material out, and hopefully I can help you, down the road and throughout your entire beekeeping journey. Thanks for checking in with me today, and I will see you next time.